Hello guys, you're welcome to my channel. In today's video, we'll talk about Autonity, their staking mechanism. First, before we talk about their staking mechanism, what is Autonity? Autonity is a public EVM blockchain that is there to help with the clearing of smart derivatives. So derivatives are basically assets that derive their value from other assets. So you can see derivative, there's a gold derivative, there is a stock derivative, there is a currency derivative, and the list goes on and on. So a very quick one for us to understand is the fact that Autonity, though it's EVM compatible, it's built akin to the Tendermint consensus protocol. And the consensus protocol, this is the protocol, Tendermint is what is being used in many of these Cosmos blockchain. So that's one of the things you should understand. Now, but the difference between Autonity is that it has liquid staking built into it. A very good example of a blockchain that has liquid staking built upon it is Cosmos. Now, Ethereum has liquid staking derivatives using the likes of Lido, EtherFi, and the rest of them. Those ones, they are dApps that are building liquid staking platforms on top of the existing blockchain. But in the case of Autonity, it is inbuilt, just like in Cosmos, where you can go through the liquid. So if you've been staking your tokens for a while now, you can just, there's a switch button, you can switch to liquid staking using the Cosmos blockchain. But Autonity is different. From that was a feature that was built along during the Cosmos history. But Autonity, before their mainnet, is currently live on testnet. Liquid staking is built on the network. Now you have to understand that this liquid staking is not for validators. No, validators stake at a self-staking. They are not allowed, as we will see along, they are not allowed to get liquid staking tokens. Now, I want to give a shout out to Stakeflow. All the images I'll be using in this video, you can see the Twitter handle. These images, they are theirs. They are not mine. All the images belong to them. So let me put that disclaimer out there. Now, one of the things I want you to know is the fungibility of the liquid staking derivative token. That is what you have to understand. If you stick with validator A, the tokens are not equal. So there's nothing like saying you can take that token and then go to validator B. Like you can see here, the tokens are not actually equal. So that's one of the things you should note. So the only way you can redeem your token, a liquid stake token, is to go and unbound with that validator. It's not something that you can just go and then swap on the text. No. Yes, you can do all manner of stuff with the liquid token. You can provide liquidity. You can do all manner of stuff. But if you want to redeem your original Ethereum token, you have to go to the validator which you initially staked with. Now, I was talking about validator stake. So I was actually saying that the deleted stake, you get staking rewards, you receive NTN in return, and you are protected from penalty when there's a penalty in case of slashing or bonding. Tokens are slashed equally another. Now for the self stake, they get staking reward, but you don't get you don't get liquid token, and then they are slashed when there's a need. Now, one of the things you have to understand is the need of epochs. So epochs are basically time frames in a blockchain. So an epoch is a set of time where equal blocks happen over time. So when you send transaction, James sends transaction, Alex sends transaction, Bob sends transaction. Those transactions, they don't just get confirmed on their own. They have to be put in a block. So that time where they get put in the block and then they are validated is what we call an epoch. So in an epoch, anything can happen. So supposing the validator acted against consensus, it's going to be slashed. It's not going to just go wake up and then say, oh, I want to withdraw my token. No, he has to wait till that epoch finalizes, and then either they are giving him a reward or a penalty. Then he can do whatever he wants to do. Now for the network, one of the things you have to understand is that there are various factors that actually affect or influence a validator stake. So we can have things like bonding. So bonding is when tokens are added to a validator, or a validator increases its stake. So it starts with, let's say, X amount and then increases it by X plus 1. Or validators stick to him and then they increase that stake. So bonding, so it can increase his voting power. Another thing is unbonding. So when people, for various reasons best known to them, they start unbonding that token, so it decreases the. And the next thing is slashing. So slashing can only occur at the protocol level. At this time, the validator has gone against the network interest. So the network has no option but to reduce that stake. So you might be asking, what happens in the case of slashing? So since these tokens are issued on a one-to-one level, so what that means is that somebody brings in 100 NTN tokens, then they get issued one-to-one, which is 100 LTN tokens. So in the case where their validator is slashed, so yes, maybe they slash 20 other tokens, right? What they have left is 80. So that process will continue until somebody else comes and bond, let's say, another 100 tokens, and then that person, in order for the system to self-correct, there is a stake that will be added to the person to make it 125 tokens. So, and the last thing we'll talk about is the staking reward. So staking reward, the validator stakes to get reward, the validator delegates the validator to also get reward. Now, when a person, one of the things you have to understand, like we actually alluded in this case, when we're talking about liquid Newton fungibility, we said that these tokens are not fungible in the sense that you can't just move them around. So one of the things you now know is that if, for example, a person X transferred his liquid tokens to person Y, and then after an epoch, the validator satisfies network requirement, and then they want to pay out validator reward. The recipient of the tokens will be the one who gets the reward. So that's one of the things you should note. Now, when there is a reward, a portion of the reward goes as treasury fees to the Autonity treasury account, and this fee is used to do a manner of stuff like developing the network and all that. Then another part of the fee goes to the validator. So this validator, it takes it as its commission, and then the last part is what goes to the delegator. So three things that happens: and the fees that is gotten first goes to the treasury, the second goes as commission to the validator, and then the last it goes to the delegator. So that is a brief about the staking mechanism. In our next video, we'll talk about the token economy and then how it works and how to pick validators.